So I'm going through and I'm doing all this shadow work, and I'm understanding my traumas and my issues, and understanding what I have just completely blocked out of my mind. And it was a very healing time. It really was. I mean, went I astral projected in moments in my youth that I vividly remember. I remember doing this, and this is who I was doing it with. It was with me. I remember running off when I was still living in Ghana. It had to be a birthday. It was a birthday. I remember it was my last birthday. It was my 6th birthday in Ghana. It was my last birthday. And we cut the cake and everything. And I remember just going on my own. Oh God, I can't cry on the internet. That's embarrassing. Please, cannot cry on the internet. Okay. I remember going into like this like alleyway, kind of. That's another thing that I've learned is to not cry. But yeah, I remember going into the alleyway, and just I've always had this urge to just be by myself. No matter how social I am or what I'm doing, like I just always need to be with myself. And I understood why, because I truly was with myself. I went into the alleyway, and I remember just standing around there. But then I remember I wasn't just standing around there. Me as as an adult at that time was like 24. No, at that time I had to be like 25, something like that. 26 now, so I started when I was 22, actually, not 24. So I was around 23, 24, and it was me giving myself a hug. And I mean, this stuff is crazy when you like really say it out loud. Like, whoa, I was always playing by myself, but I was never playing by myself. I was always playing with me, but like different versions of me, you know? And if you don't know, you will know. That's why you're watching this video. But I guess, so yeah, so that, all that is beautiful. Like the healing yourself through yourself. Of course, with the help of God, of course. But God helps you through you. So it's really very solitary, which for the most part is okay. But when the solitude really hits you, it really hits you. You know, like when like there are moments where you realize how alone you are in this, and you're not lonely. You're by yourself. You don't really have many people to discuss things with. I mean, even if you had somebody who understands, you don't want anybody like knowing that much about you, being that inside of your space, you know? You can't go to a therapist because you're literally gonna get locked up in a psych ward. It's you and God. And I mean, there's a shit ton of what's the word I'm looking for? There's a shit ton of confirmation along the way. Trust There's going to be moments where you think something and boom, the physical manifestation is right in front of you, just like that, like snap of your fingers. And then, like, you're talking about a cold turkey and you walk outside and there's a frozen turkey on your front door type shit. Like, that stuff really does happen. But who are you gonna tell that to? You know? But yeah, that stuff really does happen, and it's like the confirmation from the universe, like, yes, you did do some healing yesterday. Yes, you did go and give yourself a hug, and yes, everything's fine, and you did have that dream. And no offense, I don't even need to say no offense, like the source already knows, but that's not in replacement of a physical person there with you, and there's no way around it. You need to be alone. You can be in a crowd full of people, and this was my job, was to be on the Las Vegas Strip. So I was in crowds full of hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people on holidays like Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, the NFL drafts, all this stuff going on. That's crowds of millions of people. And I'm still by myself in a crowd. I'm alone. It's not, they say it's not a journey for the weak, not because of anything but the solitude that it comes with. I'm at the point where I've cut my whole family off. That's a real part, because you get to a point where you realize, and I mean, I'm still human for the most part, so that's when it becomes very hard to balance, because I know they're not my family, but they are my family. They're all I've ever known. And then also just the aspect of just the familiarity. Since I started this journey, I have not had a moment of rest of, okay, I had a moment of stability, but that didn't even really count because it wasn't a place I wanted to be stable in. So that I would count that very loosely, but yeah, I mean, ever since I've just been transitional, and the transitions are getting better. Like, hopefully, right now I'm in a semi-stable transition, meaning this is definitely not my destination, but it's an extended stop. It's a really long. It's a layover with a couple night stays. Okay, like sometimes because the universe knows what you can handle, it's gonna throw you all that you can handle. You have to be the one to be assertive with the universe and tell it, bro, not right now, please. Like, not right now. 2.5 seconds. Not right now. You know, like, it's like anything. Like, you're doing so well at something that they're like, oh, okay, yeah, here, you could do this too, or you could do that too. It's your job to, like, okay, but I can't. I know I'm really making it seem like I can, and I mean, I guess I can because I'm doing it, but I really can't. Like, that's, yeah. So that, and that, even saying that, like, that's always been an issue in my life, as crazy as it sounds, and it sounds so crazy, which is another issue, is only the fact that I'm just good. Like, it sounds crazy to say, but you are better. You're more capable. So you do get a lot more thrown at you in your real life, your physical life, should I say. Like, that's what I'm, like, this journey has taught me boundaries in every sense of the word, because if you can set a boundary with God, who can't you set a boundary with? You know what I mean? Like, if you can tell God, like, God, please give me 2.5 seconds. Just please give me time for my physical to catch up. Please. Of course, it's very respectful. I'm not like crazy or rude or anything, but sometimes you need to remind the universe, because you are working together. God is not above you. You are not above God. No, you are God. God is you. You're working in tandem. You guys are partners. Okay? So when that one partner is tired and needs just stability, you have to give it to them, because it benefits the whole business as a whole in the long run. It sustains the business. It lets it keep going. It lets it keep growing. Gives it time to step back, look at things differently, come back and reconfigure. Because just as much as we're working with the spiritual, we're working with the physical. This took a lot to get to this point. When I moved to here, I didn't look like this. Hell, even 2 months ago, I didn't look like this. 3 months ago, I didn't look like this. This has been a conscious effort of studying people's reactions to me, how people receive me, how I receive myself, what I'm more inclined to getting or benefiting from in the ways I look. I've tried natural, and like everybody knows that's never the way to go. It's natural, it's fake that looks natural. That's the way to go. Like this is fake, but it looks natural. Do you know how many pounds of lash serum I've poured on my eyes every night so that when I put mascara on, they look fake, but they're natural? I mean, I've learned how to cornrow and do sew-ins. Like, I'm consciously, actively taking medication that's really, really, really bad for you to stay skinny. Like, I have spent, I don't even want to know how much I've spent on clothes and makeup and everything to enhance me, my aura, my energy, to validate who I say I am. Because I can tell you who I am all day long. I can tell you that I'm Setra, I'm a supreme being, I'm an empress, I'm a goddess, I'm a cosmic queen. I can tell you that all day. I can tell you I'm a healer, I'm an oracle, I'm a medicine woman, I am the first woman. I can say that all day. And you'll listen, because, okay, but what about me proves that? Have I done a spell for you? Have I even told you a definition of anything spiritual or deep knowledge? Have I displayed any deep knowledge to you? Have I done anything? No. So why would you take my word for it? You wouldn't. But you see my tattoos, and you hear the way I speak, and you see the way I'm dressed. I mean, I'm in a gown at my vanity altar. I have my hair done. I've got hoops. I've got blush. You're goddamn right that I'm Setra, the cosmic supreme goddess, the first woman. She who was not named but shall be now. Yes, you're goddamn right I'm her. But if I was looking the way I was looking, 30 pounds heavier, little natural puff, you'd be looking at me like, girl, yeah, sure. Okay. Good for you. You're a black woman. That's right. That's what she's trying to say. She's trying to say she's a black woman, y'all. I got it. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm not a black woman. I'm a cosmic god. That's what I'm trying to say. But why would I? That's wasting energy on. So you got to walk the walk. And so it's definitely a synergy. It's a synergistic thing. God's not just gonna sit there and bloop, there's a miracle. Bloop, there's another miracle. Oh, another miracle. Like a lot of Christians think. Like my grandmama think. That's not how God works. That's not how he's ever worked. And I wonder why she thinks that. But then I realize it's because she herself has never worked. It's always been everybody else's work around her that she equates to God's work because she's never worked. Like my mom just paid the water bill and this lady be like, "Oh, thank God, God has paid the water bill." Babe, no, mom paid the water bill. You get what I'm saying? But if you're like, God is mom and mom paid the water bill, so therefore God paid the water bill, amen. Well, that's different because not only are you honoring God, but you're also honoring the vessel in which God works through. So that's another thing that I had to learn through my spiritual journey is the adornment, the honoring of the vessel, because as a goddess, you feed off of energy, right? For me, I've got shitloads of plants. I actually live across the street from a park. I go for walks. I sit under trees. I put my toes in and I absorb everything. I'm what you would call, I guess, a vegetarian vampire for the most part, right? But you do have those who are energetic vampires. If you want to put it in the most simplest cinematic terms, so anybody watching this can understand me. That's the only reason I'm going by these terms. I probably do look like a vampire right now, but I'm not a vampire. I'm just saying, like, I get my energy source from plants. Plants are ever creating energy. You know what I mean? Like they can go and go and go. Cut them down, they'll grow back. You can't cut a human's arm off and it grow back. That's just never gonna happen. You cannot burn out somebody at a job and expect them to show up the next week for work. That's never gonna happen. So feeding off of people's energy, which is like chaotic, unstable, unbalanced, I just can't. It's just not something I can do. I can feel people's energy like when I go out, but honestly, that makes me kind of dizzy. So I don't even like doing that. So that also probably contributes to a lot of my reclusiveness is the fact that I don't want to go to the grocery store and know the gross thoughts that the guy next to me is thinking about me while I'm just casually getting my pineapples. I don't want to go sit in the classroom and have to learn a whole bunch of stuff when I just astral projected and helped liberate 30 women last night through my dreams. It's just, but you have to. You got to go to the grocery store because how else are you going to eat? You can't afford the Instacart delivery fees all the time. You got to go to school because how else are you supposed to get an education? You want to be able to up your net worth. So these things have to get done, and they have to get done in a way that you will be worshipped while doing it. So you have to look good, because even though I don't primarily feed off of human source, I do get an energy boost from a human worshiping me. You get what I'm saying? So there is always a give and take between you, the energy, the universe, everything. So just honor that in your journey and honor that loneliness in your journey, because it doesn't last forever. Okay? The loneliness doesn't last forever, but while you're going through it, it can be very hard at times. It really can. And if you're doing all right, your life is evolving at the same rate you are, meaning you don't just wake up one morning, decide to be spiritual, and then, all of a sudden you're a yogi master. No, I've been spiritual for years now, and I'm just now getting around to using a foam roller and like baby starter adjustments with yoga. But that's because now I understand synergistically what yoga is used for. So now, yeah, I'm all into wellness and fitness, and I'm into spirituality and balance, and I do yoga and I meditate and I hug trees, and I do everything that's just like, oh, of course you do that, you're spiritual. Of course you do that because you're spiritual. But it's because that's actually the lifestyle that comes with being spiritual. Like, it's not something that I'm doing or that you're going to be doing as a facade to boost your credibility. No, it is what you're going to be doing, if that makes sense. And then also because of that, then it comes the adverse of where, because it's you're living so synergistically with, and like you're aligned with what you're doing, with who you are becoming, and with your brand, that people don't see that people don't see that you're aligned because you're aligned. So it's up to you to remind yourself that you are indeed aligned. Yes. Like earlier today, I was talking to my friend. I was like, you know what? I'm thinking about dropping out of esthetician school. To me, right now, it seems very pointless, very stressful, very like, ugh, I just don't have time for it. Not my circus, not my monkeys. That's how I felt about esthetician school. Obviously, through the conversation, she changed my mind. She reminded me what I'm doing it for. She reminded me that the importance of seeing something through just for your neural pathways alone, it opens up new roads. It opens up new psyches, new ways of doing things, new thought processes, because you've completed a project, right? So that makes sense. And I'm like, okay, yeah. But in the midst of our conversation, she's like, oh, I know what your problem is. Your problem is that you're not living in your vision. You're not doing or acting in a way that like enhances your desire to finish esthetician school. And I was like, thinking so hard, like, I was actually offended. Like, why would she think that I'm not living in my vision? Are you kidding me? My dream is to be a spiritual worker, and that's all I do from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. Like, I'm literally about to wash my floors and cleanse my floors with Florida water right now. Like, what is she talking about? But she didn't know all that because that's just what I do. It's who I am. She'll come over and I'll be cleaning with Florida water. Like, she just thinks it's a cleaning aid. She doesn't know that it's Florida water. Just like she doesn't know that I wake up in the morning and I meditate and I listen to tarot readings and I do, because it's my daily pattern. It's my lifestyle. It's what I do. It's like what I eat, breathe, and sleep. So to her, it doesn't look like I'm living in alignment with my life because this is my life. So sometimes it even takes somebody outside of you that doesn't recognize you for you to recognize yourself. And you're like, hold on now. I ain't say all that now. I ain't say I wasn't living in alignment. I just said that this one aspect of this seems out of alignment with what I'm already in alignment with. But it wasn't. I just needed to see things from a different perspective. So maybe that's the lesson here also. See things from a different perspective. But more on this spiritual journey. I'm sleepy now.